feel like I haven't done this in a while, and I'm very excited because I'm going to be actually doing this, talking about a project that is about to happen in like 3 days. I just wanted to come on here and share a little bit more about what this project is all about. Let's begin. It's actually been months since I've done a more of a chit chat video. I've actually been working on different blogs, but I haven't done what I did in my first video, which was a storytelling type of video. But now I'm here and I am back with something sort of similar to that type of style, and I'm just really happy that I'm able to talk about a project that I've been working on for months now, and now I am only 3 days away from actually starting this project, and I feel just very happy and content and very excited and ready to start this adventure. And of course it's gonna be a lot of work, it's gonna be long days, so full on working, and I'm totally okay with that. And the idea behind it and the purpose that I hope we're able to meet with the mural project in Tijuana really make it all worth it. So before I begin, let me introduce myself. For anyone who is visiting my channel for the first time, welcome. My name is Lisbeth Cruz Santana. I am a PhD candidate at UC Davis, and I'm about to start my 4th year in just a few months, and I'm very thankful that I've made it this far. Hopefully, if everything goes to plan and things just align, I'll be done in 2 years, and then I'll be Dr. de la Cruz Santana, which is one of my goals in regards to my career. But let's talk about the Playas de Tijuana mural project. And I feel like I always get super excited when I talk about it, because it has been a project that has been the back burner for like many years. And it all started in 2016, the first year that I was able to go back to Tijuana now as an adult. So I actually went there with the Humanizar interpretation team for training at El Cole, because we were going to start doing fieldwork in the summer of that next year. So my first visit to Playas de Tijuana, like ever, was in November 2016, and I remember that night clearly. The team visited different places in Tijuana, and Playas was one of them, so we were actually gonna have dinner there. And a lot of our field work in 2017 actually was made possible through the space in Friendship Park. But to keep it short, for me, Playas became this space and where people could claim their voices and take ownership of what they want this space to actually be. So to further on why the idea of the mural. So in that same summer of 2017, I spent a lot of time looking at this wall almost every day. So I do have a lot of moments that have marked my experience there. One of the top ones for me has been Father's Day in that same summer, and just to see people coming from different places from Mexico to see their loved ones, people traveling days just to see their family members who are in the US for a super small limited amount of time. So growing up in Fresno has actually provided a lot of inspiration behind the work that I do now, and the mural is not an exception. During my time at Fresno State, I picked up this tradition with a few of my friends to head out to Fresno's Art Hub, which is hosted every first Thursday of each month. Art Hub for me set in motion a lot of different projects. As the president of Club Austral in Fresno State, which is a Spanish club at the university, I was able to coordinate a series of cultural nights and different events that involved the community, the Mexican consulate, and different businesses in the Central Valley. And I remember I was coordinating my first art hub, and I went out to Chinatown with one of my friends to check out a venue that we were super interested in. And previously I had heard about an artist in the Central Valley who was really well known, specifically with my friends, and I was able to see a lot of his work in art hub, specifically around Fresno. While driving around, you would see different murals and some of his work that was on display in one of the venues that hosted Art Hub. In our visit to this venue, I ran into Mauro Carrera and invited him to be part of a cultural night. He said yes, and he was all about it. After that, I just became more of a huge fan. Once I was already out in Davis, we invited him over to paint a piece for one of the groups out there in the Spanish department called Dig. He had a really great session with the students in the Spanish department, and we still have his artwork in one of our rooms. So that's when this idea came about. I remember I messaged Mauro and I told him like, hey, I am super interested in doing this project in Tijuana. I'm gonna look for funds and we're gonna make this happen. Are you on board? And again, he was on board. I feel like maybe a year and a half passed by since we had that conversation. I submitted an application to be part of the 2019 Mellon Public Scholars at UC Davis with the intention to work digital narratives again this summer for Humanizar interpretation. So fortunately, I got this fellowship. I was, and I'm still very happy and just overall thankful that the university and these programs continue to believe in the work that I attempt to do. It just makes it all just more rewarding. So one of the requirements to get this fellowship was to take a seminar with all the fellows, a professor, and then Stephanie, who is the coordinator of the program. And let me tell you that I started this class feeling very nervous and not knowing what to expect. I've hardly taken classes outside my department, and in the classes that I've taken outside my department, there was always a familiar face there, maybe someone from my program taking a similar class. This was a first-time experience. I've learned so much and applied a lot of the things that we saw in this seminar to my project. And it was in one of the assignments that we had to do that I decided that I needed to do this project, that the mural project was something that I wanted to do, that this fellowship was going to be the only opportunity I was going to have to work on the mural project, because we had this freedom of creativity to do an engaged project with the community and to connect people from both sides of the border. And for me, this is a gift sent to me, and I need to make sure I do this, and I set this in motion. So before proceeding, I remember I messaged Maud. I was like, hey, I have funds, let's do this. So now we are here, and I was also fortunate enough to be able to find an advisor who also believed in this project and the vision that I have for the mural project. So towards the middle of the spring quarter of this year, I felt like things were falling into place, things were all running smooth. I had my muralist who was gonna go paint with me in Tijuana, which was Mauro Carrera. So part of my job as a director for this mural project is to make sure that our budget is set. So a big part of my fellowship will be going into funding this project. During this time, I had to find our lodging, and thankfully my friend Felipe is letting us borrow his apartment, which I'm internally grateful for this. Additionally, I had to book flights to San Diego, transportation, making sure the materials get ordered. Additionally, I also booked a videographer with the hopes to obtain drone footage for a documentary that I'm also working on for this project, which I will not talk about in this video for right now, because it's something that I really want to keep to myself, in the sense that I have really high hopes for this documentary and I know it's gonna be great, and I just want it to be super like a surprise for everyone. So it's gonna be my first official documentary. I did do a little warm-up earlier this year for a festival that was hosted in San Diego. So before giving you a list of all the different things that go into place of being the director and public relations person, it's just easier to say that it just demands a lot of time, dedication, seriousness. The intention of this project is to bring light to the myriad of stories behind the child arrivals dilemma in the US, to inform people of what is going on in regards to deportations and the experiences of those that fall vulnerable to deportation. I also want people to be able to see and associate art as a political tool. So this is my way of bridging the arts, academia, the community, and activism in one, by showcasing stories in the Humanizing Deportation Archive and Documented Dreams Without Borders. And I'm super excited to see the final result. We aim to finish on August 9th. So I can't really imagine how that's gonna feel, but I do know that I'm gonna feel a sense of relief, just a lot of joyfulness. I guess that's the perfect word for it. So if you made it this far to the video, thank you for watching. Thank you for even taking interest in this project. I will leave down in the description box the Facebook like page for the Plaza Tijuana Mural Project, and if you give it a like, you're gonna be able to see all the updates and posts, our calendar, our flyer, and just overall information that goes behind this artivism. And I also have a website tab for the project in my digital portfolio. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I tried my best to make it as chronological as possible, as if I was telling a story. So this was just basically a background look into how this project came to be, and I feel very blessed to have this opportunity. So we'll see how it all goes, and I'm very hopeful that it's gonna work out. And before I end this video, I want to give a huge thanks to Leopoldo Peña, who took several of the portraits for Humanizing Deportation, and I also want to thank my advisor Robert for sharing these with me. So I want to give a huge thank you to my friend John for allowing me to take a picture of him and to use that same image for the mural, to Monse for showing the faces of the real dreamer moms. I also want to thank Carla Estrada. I really admire all the work that she does for the community. I also want to thank Andy, and I really wanted to show his story because he's a deported veteran, a childhood arrival who made his life in the Central Valley. And I also want to thank Kaido, because every time I reach out to him for all these ideas that I have, either with using his music and working with me with the Documenter project and now with the Humanizar interpretation project. I feel like he's always on board and he doesn't hesitate and he understands the vision, and I really appreciate that. So a big huge thank you to him. And to the other narrators who are gonna be with us in Plaza Tijuana, I'll see you guys in a few days. I also want to thank Enrique Bravo for sponsoring stickers with the mural design, which we will be giving out in Tijuana and once we come back to the US. So that's another of the cool collaborations that we have going on. And a huge thank you to Enrique Chiu for letting us borrow his studio in Casa del Túnel. I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you for watching, and if you are new to my channel and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it, subscribe. And if anyone has any questions or inquiries or comments, you could either email me directly, and I'll put my email down here and also in the description box. You could also message me directly in the Facebook like page. Thank you for your time, and we will be seeing each other again pretty soon, and hopefully with the entire mural ready to show. That's all for today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. So it's the final day and we finished the mural here in Plaza Tijuana last night. We actually finished around midnight because last minute I decided to add a second part to this mural just to add to the continuation and kind of just expand the idea of abolishing and erasing borders here in Plaza Tijuana. So next to me we can see the mural, and I'm gonna add in some still photos and shots that I've taken so far in this trip, so you could admire it. It's just a beautiful piece that we were able to actually execute in 9 days, and it's amazing. It's a surreal feeling, and I really don't know how to process this moment right now, but I just feel very overwhelmed with all the happiness, and I'm very thankful for everyone who collaborated, especially my friends here in Tijuana, the people that are portrayed in these portraits who dedicated a lot of time and made this possible. So I'm just eternally grateful, and I'm just really happy. Now that I can see this piece finished and somewhat complete, because I do want to expand this mural down to the beach, I just feel very happy, and I just hope that people are able to come down to Tijuana to see this mural and interact with it with the QR codes and spread the word basically, and let people know what deportation is like and who is vulnerable to deportations. I feel that sometimes there's a lot of misconceptions out there, and the best way to clear these up is to talk to those who are affected. And so there's really a lot I want to say, but at this moment I just feel that I need to step back and reflect on my own. It's really been 9 days of full work, long hours, and I can't imagine this project being possible without the help of Mauro Carrera, who's done an amazing job. I couldn't have picked a better muralist than Mauro for this job. He was all about this project. He was dedicated, patient, and learned so much, and that's something that's always beautiful in this type of journey. So I'm really happy, and I hope that everyone who comes down to Tijuana is able to share these images with other folks out in the US, Mexico, or any other part of the world. And that's another interesting part of why I selected this section of the US-Mexico border. I've shared with a few of the news outlets that my dad actually crossed through here when he was young, and for me that was just a key element to why I selected this space, but also because we do have Friendship Park right behind me, and I really wanted for the people who visited this space to also be able to interact with the mural that spoke to them. And this speaking would actually be possible through QR codes. So anyone interested would scan these QR codes with their phone by opening their camera, and then a YouTube video would appear. So I think that's like the best way for people to actually put into context the artwork that we've made possible here by our community members. And a big thing about this project as well that I feel it's really fascinating and possibly unique, besides the digital component for it, is that our own participants, the people who elaborated their own narratives for humanized deportation, were here with us painting their own portraits. And they also helped us paint the portraits of DACA recipients because they can't be here themselves. So we really wanted to find people that were really serious about this, and we are very fortunate to have the support, and I always say the constant support of Blanca and Robert Vivar. They are and were super key to this project, and I am just super happy that they're always here for us, and this project is for them. Also, I just want to say thank you to all of my friends who participated here, especially those who we can see in this mural, like Isaac, Tanya, and Monse. Like, you guys rocked, you guys made this possible, and I feel that I really wanted to have people understand and really know your story. So I hope that this really actually makes people understand what deportation is like and how being separated from your family because of a man-made border is like. And so something that I really hope from this project is not just for people to admire the artwork and interact with this mural. My intention behind this mural goes beyond my dissertation work that I hope to complete at UC Davis in around 2 years, with the white papers that I want to elaborate for both the US and Mexico for policy suggestions. But I also want the public to engage, to take action, and to be part of a movement that will definitely change lives. So for now we have Monse, who's fighting a case, as well as Tanya, who's fighting a case, to be able to talk to her daughter. So what I would really hope, besides just the academic work that I intend to do with this mural, is for people in the community, people who interact with this mural, to take action, to find ways to help out the people that we portrayed here in this mural and others who are part of the Humanizing Deportation archive. So in that sense, I feel that this is a way that someone could give back and be part of the solution. This inquiry came about because I would always have people ask me, Liz, what can I do? How can I make this better? How could I participate and be a part of something that's going to make things better for people who have been deported to Mexico? And for me, that was just a very simple answer. You just have to do something. You have to act and do your own part, because I feel that in a conversation that is so complex and diverse with different opinions left and right, I feel like the main thing here and the most important thing here is for people to take action, to do something proactive that would actually benefit those who have suffered deportation, especially those that are very unjust and just overly unethical in regards to human rights. Just to finish this quick piece, I really do have a lot to say, but at this moment it's just so fresh in my mind, and I feel that, like I mentioned already, I feel like I need a few days to take it all in and enjoy, you know, all the great things that are gonna happen after this mural. So for now, I do plan to come back to Tijuana again. I am looking for additional funding to pay the artist, and also to gather more materials to continue painting this wall, and in that sense to continue showing the real faces of those who are vulnerable to deportation and our childhood rivals to the US. So thank you for watching, and I'm really thankful to all the media that came down to Tijuana to talk to us, to document this journey. I feel that you guys were key in having and allowing people all over to actually see this mural here, and hopefully in a later date for them to come down to Tijuana and check out the mural here, the Playas de Tijuana. So I'm very thankful to everyone, and thank you for allowing us to use his space in Casa del Túnel. It made me feel like a real artist, and I don't really know how I'm gonna repay you for that. I feel very blessed, and I am just ready to continue working and elaborating these white papers based on all these conversations that I've had with folks out here who have lived this experience. And I feel that we have to go to the source to be able to come up with a real and ethical solution. I really want to take a moment to thank everyone who has shown their support, who have shared the project, to all the media who reached out and really allowed us to make this project visible. Many people around the world were able to see this mural through the news, articles, and I'm really happy. In that sense, people could really get to know the stories of the people who are portrayed in this mural. My name is Santana. I am the director of the Playas de Tijuana Mural Project. I'm here in Playas de Tijuana just speaking a little bit more about the mural project. I honestly fell in love with Playas de Tijuana. This space has allowed me to grow so much. A lot of my work holds a personal value. I've mentioned to media that my dad crossed the Playas de Tijuana. In 2016, it was my first time coming to Playas and as an adult, and I was able to see this border in a whole different lens. I grew up, you know, crossing the border back and forth, and I never had really the opportunity to come and explore this side of Tijuana, which is Playas de Tijuana. And when I got here, I was just mesmerized by all the artwork and just wanted to understand why. And I think that inquiry has really allowed me to start a conversation, and I am very thankful to have this space and this platform to continue sharing a little bit more about what I'm doing and what this project will eventually end up, you know, contributing, not just, you know, at the community level and, you know, creating consciousness, but also in the political. So for me, that's also really important, and it's a reason why I continue coming back to Playas, because for me this is the source of inspiration, and I've honestly become so accustomed. And so, you know, just this is one of the spaces for me that allows me to be me, validates my pursuit to continue working with deportees, specifically child arrivals. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Lisbela Cruz Santana, and thank you so much for being here and clicking on this video. For those of you who are new to my channel, I am a PhD candidate at UC Davis, and I also do a lot of different work, but a lot of my fieldwork, research, and public scholarship focuses on the stories of child arrivals who have been deported from the US to Mexico. That's one of the reasons why I'm here in Tijuana today. I'm gonna go down and record the mural before I go back home. And it was called Yellow. So then I took my turn. Oh, what a thing to have done. And it was all. Como pueden ver, la marea subió bastante y está igual casi como empezamos a trabajar en septiembre. Tenemos a Isaac, Non, Carla, Monse, Andy, Tania, Cairo. I made my way down to the border area where we have the mural, and it looks in perfect conditions. Like, even with the weather and the salt and just the entire situation of how the border point there is with the climate and just the environment, it looks great. And I feel like it has to do a lot with the materials used and a lot of the maintenance work that went into it the months after. I'm super glad that the mural is still holding on. It doesn't look like it's gonna go anywhere at this point unless that border point gets removed, which is something that could happen. But until then, I'm still gonna be working on this mural project. So I'll definitely insert pictures and video of how this mural looks at this moment. After that, we just decided to catch up, and I feel like those moments with community is what makes public scholarship so important and valuable, especially to work that connects policy, human impact, and just an overall sense of how immigration law and policy affects people directly. And just being here and listening to their stories and knowing that they want people to know what's going on with them and that they want to be visible with their stories in an ethical way that also bridges the arts and like social media and videography, all these elements to make their stories visible. It's just, it makes me happy that I'm able to support them in that sense. I am currently on the US side of the US-Mexico border, as you can see here. And for those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Lisbela Cruz Santana. I am a PhD candidate at UC Davis, going into my last year of my program. And for today's video, I will be speaking more about the Plaza Tijuana Mural project. We concluded this project a week ago today, and I'm here on the San Diego side of the border documenting for the Plaza Tijuana Mural project. I thought it would be a great idea to film this video here and provide a brief message on the project and ways that people can really support our community. So thank you for being here, for clicking on this video. So let's begin. I'm currently at the Border State Park here in San Diego on the US side, looking into the border wall here in Playas de Tijuana, which is where we have the Playas de Tijuana mural project. You can still see the mural on the US side, which really makes a clear statement that people who have faced deportation still exist, and through the mural you are still able to see their shadows. So I'll insert some clips of what I'm seeing here on my first time here in this side of the border on the US side. So we're currently here on the other side of the border wall and the US side in the San Diego area. And this is how the border point looks like from this side. So I came to get some footage for the Plaza Tijuana Mural Project documentary, and wow, you could actually see the faces that make up the mural here. So I'll show you, but I'm being... So this is where I have to stand because I can't get any closer. And this is the Plaza Tijuana Mural Project on the US side. And you could actually see some of the faces. So I see Robert, Juana, Alex, Chris. On this side I could see Monses Bigger, Carla, and then Tanya. And then I could see Jairo's cap and gown as well. Began my fieldwork in Mexico since 2016. I've never had the chance to come on this side of the border, and as you can see here, you can see the faces of the storytellers that make up the Plaza Tijuana Mural Project. And as we go more down into the ocean, you can still see some of the baby blue paint that is left on this side of the border. It was extremely nostalgic to be in this space. A couple of minutes ago, I had the opportunity to see Robert Vivad on that side of the border. He said hello, he video called me, and it was a really nice moment. And also being able to witness what this border wall means on this side of the border, on the US side. I always see it constantly on Tijuana, families coming to the border to see their loved ones. And right now, due to Friendship Park being closed, which Friendship Park is this point here, it's really unfortunate they can't see their family members up close. They have to see them from far away, and that really means that even if they travel here with the proper documents in case they get stopped and questioned by Border Patrol, what happens here is that they still have to see their family members from far away. They can hug them. There's no physical contact. So one of the reasons I'm here today is to document for the Plaza Tijuana Mural Project documentary that I'm currently working on. I left Tijuana a couple of days ago. I came down with family and friends to document this space. It's our first time here, like I mentioned, and there's just a lot of mixed emotions here. But now that I'm here, at least on this side of the border, and still in some way be able to witness what the border looks like on this side and also the mural project. So now that I'm here, I'm gonna document. I've been able to get a few shots of the border wall. I am also getting some photography done here. But I also wanna make sure I take the space and the time to really just reflect on a lot of things. As the time of this video, I believe that I'm not 100% sure when I'll be posting this, but by now the mural project has been concluded for a week now. So we finished it on July 31st and it's complete, which means that I'm not gonna go back to Tijuana to restore the mural. I'm not gonna go and paint new faces or add new QR codes and none of that. So it means that the project on the artistic phase is completed, and what that really means is that I am gonna allow for the paint to wash out, for the faces to also start losing its color and contours, and this with the intention to send a message to politicians on both sides, on the US and Mexico side, that they have X amount of time to really create a solution for deported child arrivals, and also the additional 300 QR codes that are located on the mural. Those are equally important to communicate the stories of child arrivals, specifically those who have faced deportation and can't return to the country that raised them. So for me, it's really important to create awareness through murals, through art. So for me, it's been extremely rewarding to see the amount of support that the mural project has obtained since it began in 2019 here in Playa de Tijuana. We began painting the portraits in August in Casa del Túnel in Tijuana. By September 2019, we had 7 portraits up. 2 of them were vandalized, so we had to recreate them during this second cycle. So at the end, the mural project has 15 stories, and these 15 stories, as I mentioned prior, communicate the stories of a diverse group of childhood arrivals who have faced deportation. They have been criminalized in the country that raised them, and they continue to be criminalized in Mexico even after deportation. So not only are many of our storytellers criminalized in Mexico, they've also faced criminalization and illegalization in the US by not having the proper channels to legalize their status, even when in many cases they arrived in the US as toddlers, as newborn babies. Additionally, those who have faced deportation and try to go back home when a family member is close to passing away or they have a family emergency, they don't qualify for any humanitarian support to go back into the US. In other situations, they would have qualified if they hadn't faced deportation. I want people to also understand that the effects of deportation don't stop once a person is deported. Even after they have faced and done their time in the US, once they're in Mexico, they still feel the struggles and all of the effects of facing deportation from the US. So through the stories, by scanning the QR codes or visiting the website, people can actually learn about this and hopefully find it in their heart to advocate for them and support their return to the US, because that's where they feel they belong and that's the country they see as their own. So I welcome everyone to go to the website. I'll add it here somewhere on the screen, also in the description box. Learn more about the Playa de Tijuana Mural Project, hear the stories, learn more about our storytellers, and find ways to really support them. And if there's no channels whatsoever that can really advocate for any of our storytellers, then that calls for us to create these channels to support them and really advocate for them to return home with their families. In many of these stories, you find fathers and mothers who can't see their kids. In most cases, they have not been able to see their children since their deportation. So I want people to consider this mural as a way to really portray the neurotic stories of childhood arrivals. In this mural, you see grandparents, you see mothers, you see daughters, fathers, aunts and uncles. And I think it's really important for people to find ways to connect. Humanize migration surrounding deportation of a group that migrated to the US as little kids and grew up in the US, learned the language, know the culture, basically grew up with us. They went to our same school, they have similar dreams as our own, and all they want to do is have the opportunity to return back to the country that raised them, to the country where they have these exclusive tattoos. So I think if we all get on the same boat and if we all work together, I'm 100% sure that something good could happen. And when we're talking about the dreamers, I want people to also consider those who have faced deportation, because as many of them express in their story, they're also dreamers. They also had dreams way before they were deported. And in most of their cases, they would have qualified for DACA if they were not deported before the program was implemented in 2012. So to close, I do invite you all to visit the Playa de Tijuana Mural Project, either here in Playa de Tijuana on that side, on the Mexican side, or to visit the website. I'm currently working on a digital mural where you can scan the QR codes and share the story anywhere online, on your social media, and just help create more awareness. Thank you everyone for the support, and it really means a lot for our storytellers, and I know that if we all work together and really support them, they can really return home. So thank you.